This episode of The Patch is brought to you by Hulu Plus. Hulu Plus lets you binge on thousands of hit shows anytime, anywhere, on your TV, PC, smartphone, or tablet. Support this podcast and get an extended free trial of Hulu Plus when you go to huluplus.com/roosterteeth. That's huluplus.com/roosterteeth. This episode of The Patch is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create your own professional website or online portfolio. For a free trial and 10% off, go to squarespace.com and use offer code PATCH10. Again, that offer code is PATCH and the numbers 1 and 0.
Oil one?
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Welcome to The Patch. This week, thank you.
Bam.
Gus, Adam, Ryan, and Gus. So a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. I made a whole list of them.
You did.
We're going to get into. One of the things I'm most excited about that I just read, I think it was today, was that DayZ Standalone has been listed in the Steam database.
Yeah.
So
it was DayZ Standalone Early Access. I think is what it was called.
It's really strange. So it was about a year ago. I think they first announced that they were Their estimated launch window was about a year ago.
Right.
Like, and I played the crap out of DayZ. I have hundreds of hours logged. I was probably one of the more hardcore play for days on end.
Well, it helps when you can play while you're still at work.
So what?
Not to out you or anything there, but
I'm just saying.
I don't think anyone's surprised by that. But so I think initially they may have been rushing because they were concerned about the War Z, but that kind of fell flat. So
Anyway,
boy, that was a non-threat.
I don't want to. Never mind. Let's keep going.
So as a result of that, when they saw that the backlash and the problems that they had, I mean, I think it's smart. They'd say, let's just wait and do it right. There's no rush to.
That developer's always been really edgy about pulling it in and not rushing things to the table, and I assume he has a team now, and it's not.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. My only issue, and it's not really an issue, it's just that because of the way they were handling public relations and all that kind of stuff, hype for standalone built really really fast, especially around War Z, and I mean that's probably fine because they had a big competing product that they needed to show that they were still in the game, and then it was just Rocket went on his mountain climbing
Mount
adventure,
Everest.
which is cool. And then it was just a number of things. So my hype for the game is now it's like that unicorn that you never catch. People keep talking about DayZ Standalone. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right.
It's like Duke Nukem Forever. It'll be here someday.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing.
The way I think of it is I don't think of it as a repackaged product. I think of it almost like a sequel. Where it's because it's a new engine, it's a new platform, it's standalone. It's the first one was a proof of concept. Now the refined, finished version of that is going to come out.
I don't think that's what we're going to see though.
No?
I think that's probably their goal. But let's be realistic here. They started game development a year ago. Maybe a year and a half.
Over a year
and a half.
We had Rocket on the RT podcast a year and a half ago. And a year and a half ago, he said he wanted to have standalone done by the end of last calendar year.
But, okay, so, I don't know. I'm still skeptical. I love that game. I love the model. I'm really happy with some of the changes they've made to the game, the whole server infrastructure where, player calculations and all that kind of stuff is done in the server side instead of the client side, so it prevents the ridiculous hacking stuff where it was you spawn in and then there's cows parachuting from the ceiling, and if they hit the ground they explode, and then it's a nuke. The number of times that I just got sniped from a 1911 from the other side of the map,
Or
that's
the
great,
annoying
I'm
stuff
dead
where
now.
you'd be fighting someone, they'd change servers, disappear, then they'd reappear behind you. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Dude, so me and my team, we actually, when we were playing that game, and we played it a lot, we got really good at combating that, because I ran with a group 9 or 10 strong at all times. So when someone disappeared, we would change our position and then go back to back and all that kind of stuff. So when they would spawn back in, they'd have already 4 guns pointing at them, and there's oh, he's back, he's right here, he's dead.
Well,
and then they would DC, and we just wait and keep doing this dumb cycle over and over again until we won.
The initial release of this being a mod base, it does feel like he's approaching this more as a modder still than necessarily as a game developer.
Well, it's not a mod anymore. Now it's
it's standalone.
I mean,
at this point.
It's going to be standalone,
right?
But
it's on an engine now. But I mean, all games are that way.
But that's why it feels like he doesn't really have a competition so
Anymore.
far. I mean, there's some things that are coming along that'll get kind of close to it, but
What is it? Is it the repopulation? The MMO?
I don't know. I haven't heard
Oh
of that.
man, so it's the post-apocalyptic and God, I'm hoping I'm getting this right now. It's the post-apocalyptic MMO that they've been they've been reasonably quiet over the last couple years, but it's been in development.
Is that the one you were telling me about? The one that's like a cross? They had the Kickstarter, the cross.
no, that
between-
was 7 Days to Die,
That's
which is
right.
That's a voxel-based one.
Okay.
So it's not really
That'd be
the same.
cool.
It
Like,
is
you
cool.
could like dig
Yeah.
and
I've got the
build
alpha.
your own
You
stuff.
should come look.
You do?
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I backed it. I said, fuck it. I'll put my money in
The
it.
repopulation sci-fi sandbox MMORPG from my phone signal's really
Those people.
terrible here.
Yeah.
So this is great.
Yeah. So I know 7 Days to Die is one that I'm really looking forward to. And you mentioned Kickstarter, which made me think about something else I want to talk about this week, which is I don't know if you ever played the old Red Baron game. It was made by Dynamics. It was an old flight simulator. I've talked about it every now and then on the RT podcast. Apparently, the guy who created Red Baron and co-founded Dynamics got the rights to the Red Baron franchise back.
Really?
Yeah, and he's doing a Kickstarter to make a new Red Baron game. And it's the same team who made, it's not the entire team, but it's people who worked on Red Baron, Aces of the Pacific, Aces
there it
over
is.
Europe. Yeah, this is their early prototype. And they also made that
wow.
A10
That's
tank
pretty.
game. So they're going to...
The A10 tank game was like the best.
Oh,
was a great
wow,
game.
man.
I played that so much when I was a little kid.
I mean, with this and Star Citizen, and it's like all of my history of gaming is
Yeah.
coming back
Yeah.
and
I backed
better
Star
and prettier
Citizen.
than it ever was.
Yeah,
Did you? Okay.
I'm totally backing this
You and
this
like
Red Baron
1,000 million other people.
he's the current stretch goal is 24 million, I think, for his game.
Is he just
That's
making
crazy.
stuff up out now? Like, go on Christmas vacation with my family.
Timeshare my beach house.
I'll give you a hug that'll last 34 seconds.
The Red Baron Kickstarter just started yesterday. They're at $16,000 out of $250,000, and they're doing the similar thing that Star Citizen did, where it's tier based. You can donate, X amount of dollars. I think it's 20. You get the full digital version of the game. You donate like $35, you get beta access. You donate like $50, you get alpha access.
Oh yeah,
there's
so
some Star Citizen.
that's
yeah,
stuff.
Star
here's the Squadron Hornet video.
Yeah.
that they just put out yesterday. This is actually a really really cool video, talking about some of the different Hornet models.
Yeah,
and,
it's an ad for a ship in the game.
Yeah.
essentially.
and
It's
to
as
my
if it
knowledge,
was a
this is
real-world
actually
ad.
in engine, and like these are the graphics you're going to be seeing. Like that's not
It's-
like rendered in Maya or anything like that. But and don't quote me on that.
Oh, I'm
The
gonna
game
quote
looks
you.
exactly.
It's rendered
like
I'm
in
going to write a
engine.
journal right now. Adam said, but yeah, no, I mean that's looks really good. Everything he's put out so far has looked really interesting. I don't know what the timeline on its release is. That's still ways out, right?
The current guess is 2015, early 2015. So like they're right now they just released the hangar module, so you can actually like get in the game
Right.
and you
Look
can
around.
see your ship. You can walk around. You can share your ship with like other friends can come see the ships that you've reserved. I think in November or December of this year they're supposed to release their first multiplayer module.
That's cool.
Which is like it's like a dogfighting module for Star Citizen. So it'll be like the first competitive multiplayer gameplay for Star Citizen. And there's a bunch more modules and milestones that they've got over the next year.
That's
and
an
early
interesting way to roll
2015,
that
I think,
out.
is the first time that they'll have like, like this is the game.
Well, here's the
kinda
thing.
thing.
Is this a game that you think EVE Online is really worried about?
I don't know.
It's not
Eve
really
is
a true
very
MMO.
different-
So, well, it is and it isn't. They haven't announced a lot of those details though, like how the game mechanics are. There's technically two games. There's Squadron 42, which is the single player version of the game, and then there is I believe they're just calling it Star Citizen, which is the multiplayer, persistent universe style MMO. And they haven't from the research that I've done, and I haven't really. I don't really read all the newsletters and the podcasts and all that kind of stuff, but from the research I have done, they haven't announced much of the game mechanics kind of stuff. They've just described a lot of the details on the ships, in that this is a ship that's dogfighting, and this one is
Cargo.
your industrial cargo
Yeah.
class ships, that kind of stuff. Not so much the
Specifics
you
of
are
what you
going
do
to be
with
doing.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's not a ton of the mechanic stuff in the game yet.
Everything
or
I've
that's
looked
been
at,
announced yet.
Everything I've looked at makes me think that it's going to be a very similar game to, and I don't know if you guys remember this. There was the actually probably the most recent space sim that I really remember, aside from the X series, is Freelancer. You remember Freelancer? Anybody? No? Yeah?
I did not play that.
It was basically, it was very patterned after, at least from my memory, the Privateer series from way back in Wing Commander. But it was they even had a multiplayer variant of it, or the side of it, where it was sort of like an MMO where you...
I'm hearing Homeworld.
Homeworld, what? Homeworld?
That's what I'm just seeing here. I'm talking about those types of games.
Who told you that? Homeworld?
Homeworld would be a space sim?
Well, yeah, but not really on the same...
Here, I also
Homeworld is an RTS. This is more of like almost like you'd say a FPS in space, kind of.
I also see here that... sorry to go back for a second here. That EVE Online apparently has an elected player board that flies to Iceland once a year to meet with devs.
Reykjavik.
That's crazy.
The name that's more fun to say than it is to spell.
The CSM.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really.
They just
cool.
had another one that was like, oh, everybody spent a bunch or died and lost a bunch of money battles.
Yeah, a couple days ago, $24,000, I think.
Yep.
That I can't imagine losing. You know, because of the way their economy's set up, and because of the way like you buy crap. What's the
currency?
piece?
There's game time.
Yeah, what's the game time? Plex. So you buy Plex with in real life money, and then you can either A, apply it to your account, and then you get 30 more days, or B, you can just sell it in game. And something you can buy in real life with in real life money actually has value in game.
Right.
Because of that, they're able to do calculations on like they lost, this much money worth of stuff.
Are there mods and add-ons in the game where you see like a little pop-up display? It's like amount of money you are losing right now, dollars per minute, and you're like, oh.
I can't imagine getting in a dogfight with like me and my friends and being like, we lost $7,000 worth of stuff.
Yeah, but it was fun.
I enjoyed it. Time to go back to grinding.
I played EVE quite a bit, and EVE is one of those games that's like really fun once a month. In that when you get into one of those dogfights,
can you play that once a month?
Yeah, I mean,
don't you have to work to get money to afford all your bullets that you're about to lose?
That's the thing is like you have to you play over and you have to mine and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to buy. I mean, you have to buy some
ammo?
stuff. Yeah, you do buy ammo. You have to recharge your guns and all that kind of stuff. Some guns, just use power, so they're cost efficient. But like,
cost efficient bullets.
They're lasers. They're not bullets.
Yeah, all right. Well, jumping back for a second to the Star Citizen and this kind of tiered release thing. Mm-hmm. Does it seem like that would burn you out on a game before you ever got to the finished product?
That's always my fear with playing demos and getting early access to a game is, you definitely run the risk of that.
Which I guess you could argue Minecraft was kind of that thing where it was very available up to a certain point.
Well, Minecraft was essentially, you had everything that they had.
Yeah.
It was essentially the framework for the entire world. It's just like features being added on, whereas you're not seeing like a glimpse of the finished product.
Which you could argue that Minecraft is still doing that. I mean, it's the decision to call it from beta to production was, all right, we got enough stuff now. It's real.
Now we can deem it a product worth,
right?
A product worth the production name, essentially. That's a really common thing, though, in modern MMOs and in most games now. Is where they just they release it in beta, and it's just like indefinitely beta until they're like, I think we don't have too many bugs now.
The definition
so
of beta has changed.
Absolutely.
I think the release of Minecraft really had that term change. Before, alphas and betas were internal milestones. Maybe you would see it externally. I'd say even maybe like the Halo 3 beta kind of changed that.
I was going to say, I would argue it's even before that, because now we're starting, I mean, the word beta, has definitely changed, but the finished product of something like your released milestone changed the day we got to patch on consoles.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like the moment we're able to ship a product that can be updated, we now have day one patches
years ago
that happen, when DVD or when the game has to go for press 6 months before it actually comes out, there's a lot of time there. Yeah. So what they actually put on the DVD is an unfinished game.
Years ago, when we were still doing Drunk Gamers, Bernie and I had written quite a few articles talking about this, about how with the release of the Xbox, a console with a hard drive in it, that you're going to start seeing incomplete games shipped to the consumer at some point, and that they'll just fix it, day one or day zero.
We hope out. Day one. There's been a couple titles that I've played that I I marathon games. So like when I get a new game, I play it for like 18 hours straight.
What's the game that was on Steam that came out with no ending?
Dark Matter. Yeah. Well, they said their Kickstarter failed, and so apparently it just hits a hard end, and you got like a, one of those 80s like text screen that ended like, and so the hero went on to live it, or blah blah blah. I don't know how it ended or anything about the plot, but it was, there were so many people ticked off about it that it's actually been pulled from Steam.
I was about to say it got pulled a couple days ago,
and unfortunately because of the Kickstarter failing, apparently all the original devs are gone. So now they're just trying to stitch together an ending so they can get it back on Steam. It's still on GOG, but Steam.
I thought I saw that GOG pulled it too.
Last I read, it wasn't. But
I thought I saw something on Reddit earlier
today. I would be surprised if eventually GOG didn't kind of follow with that.
So I
no
guess
one would want to buy an incomplete product if one platform had already dumped it.
Yeah.
I guess there's another, like zombie type game coming out this October, this Halloween. No More Room in Hell. Have you heard about that? I guess they built it using the Source engine. It's same thing, survival horror gameplay, bunch of weapons, game modes. It's coming out in a couple weeks then.
All right.
Neat.
So we'll just see if we look.
I hope it has multiplayer. I'm still looking for a good multiplayer. I mean, there was a lot of people that really wanted us.
Yeah, cooperative zombie survival.
Okay. There was a lot of people that really wanted us to do DayZ as a Let's Play, but
it's
I
hard.
could never
DayZ,
figure
the
out
map
how to
was
make
so
that
big.
Yeah.
You all ran the room of spawning miles apart from each other, and then spending hours just trying to meet up.
And we like to not really have to care that much, like with what we're doing. Like we want to just play around, and if you kill somebody, and then it's like, well, time for a 4-hour reset. That's kind of
and that's. I mean, like we could have done some controlled environment stuff where like, a handful as it got everyone to Cherno and stuff. But then the moment someone died, it's like, great,
so much for that guy.
You spawned in.
You're out.
Yeah.
So I got. It looks interesting. A source game that No More Room in Hell. We'll definitely link it in the link dump.
That's neat.
And talk about it. So I don't know if you saw, but also I guess the news came out today that the achievements on the Xbox One are going to be color coded for each player. So does that mean that each player gets a designated color, or do you like set a color preference in your profile?
That's an interesting question.
And that carries across no matter where you play.
I imagine it's probably just going to auto-assign you one, just strictly because it's not going to want to have to deal with conflicts.
What do you mean that like when you get the achievement, it pops up as red? And
right. So like currently, it'll pop, like if multiple people are playing on the same console, it pops up, then the little quadrant lights up denoting who gets it.
Right.
Now it'll be color coded as well as having the quadrant light up, showing who does it, who got it.
Was the quadrant not like obvious enough?
Well, now
I've been playing games for 7 years on the Xbox.
You have to focus.
I've never had a moment where I'm like,
you have to focus
who
a little
got
more
it?
on the quadrant. If it's a color, you can easily quickly tell.
Yeah, I guess.
Without having to divert your eyes too long.
Is that really people have complained about? Like I'm playing.
Is that a big enough issue that they had to change the way it worked?
No. That being said, there have been several times where we've been doing solo box gaming, and achievement pops up, and I'm like, oh, I got who you got who.
But
there's no way you don't
game
remember
was it that
which
did it
quadrant
like in
you
the
are.
corner though? Like it would pop up in the left corner if it was mine, or the right corner if it was player two's. Like I
think that's if you split screen. Well,
I swear I've seen that before, but where they change the quadrant that it's in, and then that's like, oh, I got it because it's in my corner.
Yeah, I remember that as well. I don't remember what game did that.
I don't know. Maybe it was the Dash update or something that changed it.
I don't know. I remember seeing it.
But that'll be cute, I guess. I mean,
I guess the colors are player chosen, I'm being told.
Well, all right.
That's cool. We're going to have 9 million people who are red.
I also saw that the PlayStation 4 announced they are going to let people use their real names on PSN for online gaming at launch if they want to.
Do you think they waited until the news about Xbox not allowing
I was
you to
wondering
do that broke,
about that.
and then they're like, oh, yeah, no, we'll do that.
Was it because they didn't announce it
done
immediately?
Yeah.
There was like a week delay, because I think we talked about Microsoft not having, or the Xbox One not having it at launch last week, and then this news just came out today, or when was it? Just the other day.
Well, I guess part of it is no one has asked that question before. I mean, until someone raised the point, oh, hey, can I use my real name on Xbox Live? No one had asked Sony, can I do that on your platform?
Yeah.
And then as soon as that broke as news, it's like, oh, yeah, no.
I think they had mentioned it at their February reveal of the
they?
PS4, but they just hadn't given many details about it. They also announced that they're going to have party chat supporting up to 8 people,
right?
Which is nice.
Yeah,
I like that feature.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that'll be a functional system? And once it's like,
well, no, it's. I think party chat's much more functional than in-game audio. Anytime I'm playing with my friends, we do party chat. That way we can hear each other. You don't have to worry about listening
we don't get
to any
chatter
other
from 13-year-old
crap.
really
Same thing.
annoying.
13-year-olds, crap,
Yeah.
same thing.
I don't.
But I definitely much prefer the party chat system, especially now that with as much Grand Theft Auto as I've been playing online.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta chat with your crew.
I really love that all my friends got to play GTA 5 online. It's finally fixed now.
Oh, okay.
It is finally fixed.
What, you couldn't get in?
Dude, I could not get in for like 2 weeks. Where it was just like every time I would go there, it was just like one problem after another. And then like I was having weird issues where I was like falling through the world. Like I would get shot because it's Grand Theft Auto, and like as my character model is like ragdolling to the ground. What normally would happen is you fall on the ground and then you're dead and you pops up wasted and you start
Gravity
over.
stopping.
For me,
yes.
it would clip through the ground and then I'd start falling indefinitely and then I would respawn and my controller would no longer control my character. And it was just like, and then like none of my buttons work. I have to hard power off my Xbox and then start it back up, then go sit through the, like loading multiplayer world. It was immensely frustrating. 'Cause it was like an hour of waiting to get online. And then when I finally get online, it's like, yeah, run around, get shot, dead, fall through the world, get stuck, can't start all over. It was like, I was so infuriated.
I have not had any problems with online.
God,
the day they
just
launched, I was
makes
able
me
to make
so
my
mad.
character and get online. I've been playing so much.
I only lost one apartment. But aside from that, everything went fine. Well, would you feel
now they're
better
just giving
now?
away apartments.
Do you feel better now that they're going to give you
Absolutely
$500,000?
not. I don't care.
Because he's not going to play.
Is it? Well, I'll still play, but it's like. So we've had, and maybe it's just that I'm a different type of gamer because I come from an MMO background where almost all the games I play are MMOs for an extended period of time. That when a bug comes out, you can't do something that's going to imbalance the economy like that. That like when I see that they're just gonna give me 1 million credits worth of stuff, like
500,000.
Half a million.
Okay, sorry.
Which, by the way, is enough to buy the most expensive property in the game.
Exactly right. So that's
And
like
have 100,000
That's like
left
saying,
over.
hey, our MMO, had some problems in the beginning. All MMOs do. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna give you all the best weapons in the game. Here, like does that not seem?
Well,
Money with GTA is a really weird love-hate thing.
So the
Okay.
thing a smart player will do is instead of buying the most expensive apartment, which I expect almost everyone will do,
They'll invest.
they'll instead max out their
There's
cars.
no invest.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, not
yeah.
an online.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. They'd always kind of build that as an option, but if you try and go to the stock market in-game, at least
It
last
says
time I
temporarily
tried,
unavailable.
yeah, you just can't get to it. It's
Okay.
it's like a
That would be a really cool online mechanic, though. If like a whole bunch of people are investing in a company, I go blow up that company, and their stock drops.
Supposedly-
I would love that.
supposedly a feature that's supposed to be coming is your crew can become a investable item. Like you can have stock as a crew. You can have businesses, and people can raid your businesses, which would lower your stock and do things like that. That's
so
just
it's
features
like
they've talked about.
It's an idea.
There's a
That's
lot of things they've talked about. Though,
Yeah,
that-
it's still you can still tell it's a very skeletal system. It's a
Yeah.
framework essentially that they
they
have
got
set
it up. You can shoot people. You can do races.
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
there's very fundamental things that you can see are coming that are obvious, like user-generated content for game modes. Because, like,
Yeah.
as it is now, when you go to enter a game, it says it has a line. It says created by
Right.
Rockstar. Of course, everything's created by Rockstar. Why would they have that line unless that can change?
I've even gotten notifications saying that there's user-created content, but I can't see it because of my settings. That's popped up for me a few
I've
times.
never seen that. Weird.
I don't know what that means.
You
I
like
don't know where I would
child-friendly
change
mode
that
on,
setting.
You can't talk with people online.
Based on what I have seen in that game, I do not have child-friendly mode on. I don't know how you would even meet Trevor with child mode on. It would just be him walking down the street, I think. But no, I mean, there's a lot there that still needs to be implemented, and the economy is really weird. That's one of the things I really, so far, don't like about the online plays. You used to be able, you could have that, go into a private world. You could turn off cops. You could set the weather. You could really do whatever you want. Dying had no penalty. You could get any weapon in the game. Now you go into free mode and you can't get all the weapons. You can't, dying costs you money every time. They've
reduced
lowered
that penalty.
Yeah. It used to be, what, $2,000?
I think it was 1,400 previously.
So what
and
does
now
free
it's-
mode do now if there's all these
500.
restrictions?
There's still, you can still create a private match, which the private jobs and things don't work. We set the thing to closed all the time, and people can still join our game. But free mode,
That would be immensely frustrating.
yeah, can be, yeah. But free mode is just like the GTA 4 version. Only your money, you can't ever go to a version where your money isn't an option, and that your level isn't required to
Yeah.
be certain stages. Like you couldn't just go play for fun. You have to still exist sort of in the MMO space.
So someone's asking on Twitter, I guess, what changed in GTA 5 compared to 4 that made me enjoy it? So keeping it
enjoy
1, 3, 3, 7.
GTA 5
Yeah,
instead of 4.
I didn't really like 4. I didn't play 4. Like,
I
I played
have not
a couple
liked
hours of 4.
any of the GTA series up until 5.
I really, the single player I thought was not that great.
It was a little long.
It was okay. It was long. The only thing that I really like about 5 is playing online. And I mean, that's obviously a huge difference. Being able to play, golf or go run, missions and just run around and screw around with friends. That's fun. Like the actual story and that gameplay. As for single player, I wasn't that impressed.
I've played about half.
I'm going to get tons
half.
of hate mail.
I'm not actually sure if I'm halfway through. I've played a decent chunk into the story, and I think this is probably the first Grand Theft Auto game that I actually feel that the characters are real enough that like I actually have investment in the characters.
Right.
Some of the characters, there are some that I just really don't care about, but like Michael's story I really enjoy. And that's sometimes frustrating because I just want to play Michael's story and it forces me into, Lamar or Franklin's story, and I'm just like, I don't care.
I liked Franklin. I think Franklin was probably my favorite character out of all of them.
It's so weird that we're so like every time I get stuck with that character, I'm like, I don't care.
Anytime I got Michael, I was like, oh, quit whining. I don't care. Franklin and Trevor, I was invested in, but Michael, I was like, shut your fucking whining.
See,
God.
It's the opposite for me. It's like, I'm fine with the whining. It's like every time Lamar got on the screen, I was like, oh, great. What retarded thing are you going to recommend we do today?
He did have bad decisions, which led to fun gameplay. Like, I just tried to kill this guy. Let's go do a drug deal with him. What could go wrong? You're like, oh. Here, let me read this thing.
No.
I want to remind everyone that this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Hulu Plus. You've probably tried Hulu.com. Now with Hulu Plus, you can watch your favorite TV shows anytime, anywhere. Hulu Plus lets you watch thousands of hit TV shows and a selection of acclaimed movies on your television or on the go with your smartphone or tablet, and it all streams in HD for the best viewing experience. With Hulu Plus, you can watch your favorite current TV shows like SNL, Community, and Red vs. Blue. You can also check out exclusive content, including Hulu originals like The Awesome starring SNL Seth Meyers and Moon Boy starring Chris O'Dowd from Bridesmaids. Hulu Plus also offers a great selection of acclaimed films. For only $7.99 a month, you can stream as many TV shows and movies as you want, wherever you want. Right now, you can try Hulu Plus for free for 2 weeks when you go to huluplus.com/roosterteeth. That's a special offer for everyone watching and listening. Make sure you use huluplus.com/roosterteeth to get an extended free trial. Big thanks to Hulu Plus for sponsoring The Patch. Great service. Available on every game console.
Yep.
On the 3DS and 2DS now.
Really?
It's on the 3DS?
Yeah.
Can I watch things in
2DS.
3D?
I don't think
That'd be awesome, actually.
The other thing I was going to say here about GTA 5 was, I guess, the supposed PC version torrent that came out. It's an 18 gig download.
Yeah.
That's just malware.
Public service
my
announcement.
gosh.
Boys and girls out there in the world, if you're going to steal a game, wait until it's been announced for the platform.
Make sure it exists.
Yeah. It should be out there.
So I guess it makes people
Probably just don't steal the game.
Or you can just don't steal the game.
they download this 18 gig file.
Oh, man,
When
yeah,
they
here it
do
is.
the install, it tells them in order to get their CD key to authenticate, they have to fill out surveys, and it takes them to just tons of surveys that they have to fill out.
How?
It's like we discover a new business model we should be going for.
Does it trick people?
Oh yeah.
If you look, there's tons of people in the torrent cloud and comments on the torrent that are like, has anybody been able to get this to work? And
I wonder what's
you all are fucking stupid.
I want to think that whoever built that didn't just fill it up with garbage data. I want to think that it's full of things like in in Ocean's 11 when they blow up the money bags in the back of the truck and it's all just porn flyers. I want that to be what all that data is. Like if you just unarchived it, it would just be a bunch of porn flyers.
And it's the exact ones from the little mini game where you have to close the pop-ups. Great.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I feel like this is a recurring thing where people just serve up malware via.
It's smart.
torrents.
If that's your thing, if you're a malware purveyor, then it's something everybody wants.
Is that like the evolution of spam? It's like people are ignoring our emails. Let's put our marketing messages in.
We got to make
files.
them want it. We got to make them want it hard.
Yeah, it's like 100% of the people who see your ad want to see it or sought it out.
That just goes to show you what the torrent kind of crowd has kind of lowered the level of the average person stealing games to the point where they have the knowledge enough to get it, but not to realize that it's a bad idea.
Or even enough to check that it's not a ton of malware.
Yeah.
Like
Seems legit. An 18 gig exe file? Sure. Why not?
Like, do they not just like even run it through a virus scan first?
I doubt. Unless their computer came to them with a virus scanner, I doubt they're running anything. So someone on
That blows
Twitter,
my mind.
the Mad Cap Lizard, is asking, considering GTA 5 DLC is inevitable, what would you like to see as DLC for that game?
Well, that's interesting. Interesting thing is I don't know how the DLC model with that game is going to work. There's so many things in the online world that they still have promised that need to be released that will probably be patched in, I would think, more than released as DLC, like heists and the expansion of the crew system. As far as actual DLC, say single-player enhancement, you could add a couple storylines, maybe some more heists, something like that, some kind of post-play. The only thing is that, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but obviously there are things at the end of the story that can impact the world afterwards.
Yes.
So
I feel like lots of times DLC, to get around that, like with Mass Effect specifically, they go earlier in time.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I like that per se, because I kind of feel like I then have to. I want to experience it as a whole content, so I would then want to play through the whole game again to get to that. I kind of like continuation of stories rather than.
But what about in the moments? So like Dragon Age, is a similar game where the ending can vastly change what happens. And Dragon Age's approach was basically once you unlock the ending, you get to start the game over for the rest of the DLC, but like 10 minutes before the end of the level. Or the end of the actual game. Or the end of the game is complete, and regardless of what happens, you can still go do some of the later DLC with your character. It's like, you hit save right before the end kind of thing. Does that still bother you?
It really, it varies from game to game. Like it depends on where you're left with your characters. If it makes no sense to then continue and do that kind of stuff.
Like if your character died or something.
Or majorly. But if it's like, we're going to go visit this character's homeworld. They're kind of dead, but it'll be a nice visit.
That makes sense.
I think the thing I would like most as GTA 5 DLC would be more golf courses. Because as it is right now, or you can play it single player too. There's only 9 holes on that fucking golf course.
Yeah, they haven't even got the back 9 yet.
Yeah, so I'd like maybe a full course or an additional course somewhere else, like a desert course out in Sandy Shores.
There's room.
There you go, Rockstar. That's $1 million right there. You're welcome.
$1 million.
Deposit it into Gus's account.
Gus. $1 million to Rockstar is no longer an issue.
That's true. They're giving me $500,000 in game. I just thought I'd give them back.
One of their devs probably sneezed and blew over a stack of $1 million, and they still haven't noticed.
Yeah.
I think for me, heists, particularly ones. So at least the first heist felt very, for lack of a better term, on rails.
Yeah.
Where it was like you get some choices
depending on which way you went.
Yeah,
there's all of them have 2 ways to go.
Yeah,
but even then, they're still.
So here's my issue:
encrypted.
like the way it's presented itself, and I'm trying not to spoil anything or anything like that. You are presented options, and what I would have preferred to happen there is for me to go, like investigation style and find those options, and instead of being like, well. The first option is clearly this. We can just, blow the building up. And, like, that would have been one option. And then you could also, like, if you did some other exploration-style thing, investigation of the building, you unlock other options. Like, and I felt it was just like, here are 2 options. And that's it.
As an extension to that, I also feel like the NPCs you brought on the mission, you should have been able to interact with them in other ways before the mission to raise like some kind of friendliness meter or like help them improve in the skills that they have instead of just like, I know these 3 people, here are their percentages of how good they are.
That was the funny thing is.
Like they had I've never seen those people in the world.
Right.
It was just like, here's
you actually can meet a few of them and add to your roster.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the ones, at least in the first, for the first, it was like, you can bring as 1 guy. And that was it. And the rest of the people were just like random dudes.
I also wish there were more heists. I was disappointed at how few
really
there were in
needed
the whole game.
Well, and they even have a mechanic there whereby the people that you choose to take, their skills will increase, but their share stays the same. So you have kind of a good reason to invest in lower share people at the beginning.
At the beginning, and
but
then
there's
build
not
them up.
enough.
There's not enough. Yeah.
And especially the first heist I took, one of the lower share guys, and he died immediately.
Oh yeah, me too. Did
Completely
Did
useless.
the guy fall off the motorcycle?
Yep.
We
That
all picked
fucking
the
asshole.
exact.
Yep.
I think we all picked the exact same style of heist, and we all picked the exact same people.
Because they were like, this
to
guy
go
doesn't
on
need
the
to be
heist.
very good.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll pick the cheapest guy.
Yeah.
We
and
did
then he
the
dies, and I was
exact
like,
same thing. Yeah.
You told me it didn't matter. He didn't have to be good.
I screwed myself in money in that single player game so much. Apparently, you can pick up the bag of money he drops.
That happened to me.
He fell off his bike right in front of me. I plowed into him and died. Respawned, and the money was gone.
Oh, I got it.
See,
I didn't find out till afterwards that I could have gotten it back.
Yeah, I actually got the money as well.
Did you?
So like I took a bigger cut because the guy died.
I guess that's positive.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But yeah, no, it feels like there's not enough heists, and the heists
Yeah, definitely.
were too short.
I agree with that. So yeah, more exploration, more options in the heist, and more heists in general.
Yeah, and I mean, I can see the name already, Heist Pack. I mean, they could easily drop that. It would not be that hard.
Yeah.
But the question is, will they spend the effort to do that in single player, or will they just go ahead and bring that into multiplayer?
Well, I think they've already promised that in multiplayer as
They
being
have.
part of the game, so they have to add that in automatically. They have to have the ability to create heists,
Right.
but maybe they can have pre-scripted heists that you can. No.
Well, I don't think they'll create. Well, that would be really
If
fun.
they created a system that we could actually create our
Yeah.
own heists, that would be really neat.
And then the barrier to entry would be money. You'd have to have enough money in your personal account to hire people,
Yeah.
pay
Well,
for the reconnaissance, or
As
do whatever.
far as they've described it, first you have to have a apartment that has the heist wall. That's a specific
I
requirement.
didn't know that was a requirement.
Yeah.
Shit, I just bought the cheapest apartment I could.
That won't do it.
God damn it.
Yeah. At
There
least
goes-
that was in early people that were getting early looks at it. That was one of the things that was a requirement is you have the heist wall, and then you choose to take real players with you, and you assign the share percentages.
Okay.
Whoever I guess assume is launching the heist. Now there may be like a buy-in for equipment that you have to get or things like that. But yeah, I mean the percentage
a neat
control
idea.
is still left up to the heist operator.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way it splits money currently is a little clunky and annoying.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have to drill down into this menu, split money, and then it shows you everybody in your session, not just the people you performed.
Well, and most
the
of the
thing
things
with.
that you get money with, I don't reason to split money. Like, what are you going to get? I guess you
Like,
could
let's say
go
you hold up a
a
convenience store, right.
That's like it, though. Yeah, I guess the other thing you could do is an armored truck robbery.
Right.
What else would you split money
Well,
for?
what if you hold up multiple
like just
convenience
go on
stores in a row?
string?
Right.
I think it may only do the last thing you got. It is not. You can't just, if you've got cash on hand, share at any given moment. You have to have done. There's some criteria by which that opens up.
I guess you could withdraw cash and no.
No, just having cash on hand won't do it because there's no way right now to just give somebody money if you wanted to. Or at least last time I checked. The game is changing very rapidly.
Yeah, interesting. So in other news, I don't know if you saw that Blizzard changed the name of their MOBA. Mm-hmm. So now it's instead of Dota, it was a Dota game.
Yep.
It was called Dota before. Now it's Heroes of the Storm. Did you see the accompanying announcement video that came along with it?
No, I don't think I did.
It was a little underwhelming considering
All right.
Blizzard's normal cinematics.
Yeah, that's a problem with being so good at something is you then have to live up to it
Yeah,
forever.
you've got that standard from now on.
I'll see if I can pull it up here.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, this MOBA's been. I mean, they've been working on it forever. I mean, they were in a lawsuit with Valve, years ago over the.
What are you doing?
My iPad just made some noise.
Your mini has a horn. Now there's birds.
Here,
I like it.
I got
This
the
is kind of
video.
atmospheric.
I'm gonna send. I'm pulling it up here so I can show everyone. Great, if I'm black screen.
Had a moment with the camera. I had to do something,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
It's not gonna work.
Okay, that doesn't work.
But it's super weird. It's super.
Was it
it's-
in-game cinematic or was it?
That's it.
Okay, it's cartoon.
Well,
like a
okay,
super
I'm pretty
crudely
sure that was an
considered-
Angry Bird.
Considering the
Oh,
nature,
nope, it's a troll.
considering the nature of the game, I can
know,
see how
okay, I
that might
guess.
be kind of more thematically fit to it, as opposed to World of Warcraft.
A
or
little
Warcraft 3.
underwhelming, dude. You were not underestimating it.
Oh.
I'm expecting World of War or not World. Well, yeah, World of Warcraft style, like
Or any
they
other
all-
cinematics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
they-
all been like AAA, almost
And,
like
and this is a huge announcement.
Like,
yeah.
a graphic designer probably spent 40, 50 minutes on that.
They,
I mean,
they got
come on.
they got someone from the community, I think, to work on it. Let me look it up.
I mean, it's neat. I don't know. Although, I mean, it's just a name change, right?
Right.
So it's not it's not that big of an
It's not
announcement.
really that big of a relaunch to it.
Yeah, it's not like a relaunch. It's not an actual launch. It's
They're
just changing the name.
They have BlizzCon coming up in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks. Do you think that they'll have it on hand there? I know they said they're going to have the Diablo 3 expansion, which they announced I think is coming for PS4. Do you think maybe we'll finally see some
Might see
Heroes of the
something,
Storm?
I don't know.
They need to start teasing it sooner or later. I mean,
They did. Didn't you see the awesome video?
If that's gameplay, then that's a whole new thing we could be looking forward to.
Taking on casual,
I mean,
really
casual
is, yeah.
crashers.
I know you say that this was easy and whatnot, but
No, it's
they
not.
haven't.
That's actually
they haven't
work.
shown anything of the game.
Yeah.
This is the only
It's
video
Blizzard,
announcement
though.
they've
Do they
released.
have to? Do you think they're getting?
Why
into
did they
this point?
release that then? They could have not
Dude,
released
their
it.
track record, in my opinion, recently has not been
Fair enough.
super great.
Yeah.
So
They announced they were shutting down the cash auction house in Diablo 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually
good.
been a while back.
Although I mean, I made a decent.
You paid for the fucking game, and then some.
I did. I paid for the game. I paid for StarCraft. I paid for StarCraft's expansion. I did make a decent chunk of money on the auction house, which is awesome. But you know, there are too many people like me.
Go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah.
we call
All right.
like we're
Well,
not
I'll accept
surprised
that.
that it you know wasn't gonna work. Especially when you can buy gold, you can buy currency, you can buy everything through that. You've got people who are farming gold day in day out forever and don't even care about the items. They just NPC the item because the gold is the only thing that matters, and they're making thousands of dollars playing a dumb game. And by doing that, it actually encourages exploiting. It encourages bad gameplay because you want to make money.
Right.
So you're sitting there going, okay, what's the easiest way to make gold? Well, that's going in and out of this one building for 9 hours straight. Like, not an enjoyable game, not having fun, not doing anything, like walking in, smashing a bunch of enemies,
to be
opening
fair,
a chest, walking back out, hoping for like that one random
That's
drop.
how you play games.
Most people call
That's
that.
how most people. Okay, that's not how most people play games. That's how I
That's
play
how
games.
you play games. I know
So
that you are
it's-
describing
wait.
your mechanic for playing
You're
games.
saying that there are people that are doing things that are not necessarily enjoyable for money. I think most people would call that a job.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. All right. I accept that. It's a second job. It's in a game which is
a game
supposed to be
job.
fun. Like you're supposed to.
Well,
even,
you can have fun. You don't have to do that. It's not required. I mean, I'm not defending the auction house idea, but I mean that's there. It's not hurting anybody that they're doing that, is it? I mean,
No,
does it unbalance,
it's just degrading their own personal experience
It
with the
is.
game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
if that's what they want to do, so be it.
Yeah, why not?
But then the flip side is it also degrades the economy of the game.
What economy?
But the economy is
not
Is
necessary.
there and is built for players to do this.
Yeah.
It's built for players to get
you
items
can
and
play
sell
that
it.
game and not need to touch that auction house at all.
Yeah, when I played Diablo 3, I think I used it a couple of times. I never used the real world money one, just like the in-game.
Yeah. So I mean, why? It's not that economy is completely fake. It's entirely set up to make money for Blizzard. Really? I mean, who else is? I mean, the players feel like they get some manner of benefit out of it, but aside from that, it's really Blizzard that's making the money, right?
Well, I mean, the flip side is that the people, you basically, it's a messed up reward system in that you are able to just buy $13 worth of gold and then buy every good item in the game. Mm-hmm. And
if you wanted to,
if you wanted to, and it cheapens the experience for you because you don't actually have to learn or actually play the game well.
Yeah.
And the other end is all the people who spend tons and tons of time being really good at the game, investing time in the game, investing time into their characters. They've got these other people who have all the best gear, all the best stats right along with them just because they have.
Well, I mean, it's not like it has a true
money.
MMO play to it, though. It's not like
and Diablo is probably one of the better places it could have existed. I'd be flipping my shit if it was, in WoW.
Yeah, I mean, that would
or
be
in
totally,
some other game where it's just like, pay $13 and get your
that affects
your tier
everyone.
14 gear.
Yeah.
You're done. Like that, I would have a problem with that. I always have a problem anytime an MMO is a free to play MMO and says, buy your gear.
Well, here,
No, that's wrong.
I'm going to read this. I'm going to talk about something. Then I'm going to ask you a question about something else we talked about the patch recently. I want to remind everyone that this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Squarespace, the fast and easy way to create your own professional website or online portfolio. Squarespace is e-commerce ready to provide a powerful and flexible e-commerce solution so you can set up shop and sell things quickly. You can also easily embed a Twitch TV player into any page on your Squarespace website so you can share a favorite gaming moment. Squarespace starts at just $8 a month and includes a free domain name if you sign up for a year. So if you haven't already, give Squarespace a try. You don't need a credit card. Just start building your website. When you decide to sign up, use the offer code PATCH10 to get 10% off and to show your support for the patch. That's squarespace.com and offer code PATCH10. Can't say enough good things about Squarespace. Super easy, convenient way to get a website set up. Awesome service. Builds great websites. The thing I was going to ask you about was that announcement that Sony Online was letting people buy level 65 EverQuest characters. What do you feel about that as someone who had played EverQuest for a long time? Oh, I'm sorry, it was EverQuest 2.
Yeah, well, so one, EverQuest 2, the cap right now is, I think, 95. So, who cares?
Okay.
You know,
maybe it was 85 then. It was pretty close to end-game.
Okay, so, yeah, you're buying, you're saving yourself time. The thing is, and I actually I wasn't aware of that. I did hear the rumor, so it doesn't really surprise me. So I don't know what gear. I don't know anything they're getting. And EverQuest is actually, and it might have changed. I used to play EverQuest very, very hardcore. 60 hours a week, like more than a full-time job style EverQuest 2. If they told me that they were getting some of the items that I have worked for months to get, I'd be upset. I'd be really upset. As far as I'm concerned, they're not getting avatar gear, which you could have only actually.
I'm looking up exactly what they get here.
I believe I'm
told
that avatars have come back. It's been a long time since I've looked at EverQuest 2, so I'm not 100% sure on some of the details there.
I guess that promotion's over, by the way.
Okay.
That promotion ended October
really?
15th. So you pay $35. You unlock a level 85 character of any class to play. I'm trying to see what they get as far as money and gear, though.
Well, that's interesting. I thought that was just something they were permanently adding, but it was just a limited time.
Yeah, limited time deal.
Yeah, especially as a limited time thing. I think I'm okay with it because all it's really doing is saving you a couple weeks for the hardcore, a couple months of gameplay when 99% of your audience is at top level. So basically, what it's doing is it's slingshotting you into actually being able to play with people. Which is important.
Do you think it's really targeted for people who have never played the game before, or is it targeted at people who used to play the game to get them back into it?
So the thing is even at launch, I think EverQuest 2 started at level 50. So you're buying yourself days. So even if you only played at launch, that's 7-8 years ago. You've only bought yourself, a couple weeks worth of work, and most of the people that are going to want to come back are going to want to just pick up their old character, or start all the way over so they can relearn all the systems because it's a relatively unique style MMO.
They also implemented with this a new system that simplified combat for new players, or for people who use this slingshot system, where you could enable a special mode that only displays the abilities most critical to your class, and then over time, as you learn to play it, it slowly introduces more buttons.
Like DDR.
That's fine, I guess. I mean,
click.
One of the things.
Perfect.
Dance, left, right. Dance,
nice.
I don't know. That's fine, I guess. If the difficult thing is I don't really. I'm not in tune to the people who would probably do that. So I don't know what their point of view is. For me, I would never do that. Like you're saving yourself a couple weeks, but you're picking up a character. It's like people who buy characters on eBay before, when that was still not necessarily allowed, but when it was
more prevalent.
Or people who buy accounts. You're buying a character that you're terrible at, that you have no idea how to play, that has gear that you have no idea how to use, you don't deserve it, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I think
it's like giving a human a spaceship, really.
Yeah, an alien spaceship at that. It's like, here, great. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm pushing buttons. And, it's really frustrating as being the other end, as being, the MMO raider. And when you have someone who picks up and is like, I don't know, it's like a I can't.
Well, what I said was that you can easily, as someone who raids a lot, you can easily tell when someone doesn't know the character, and you never want to play with that person.
Especially with in games like EverQuest and WoW and stuff like that, where they actually have combat parsing, where you can
look at it.
I can see, this wizard's doing 1,300 damage. Well, that was great 4 expansions ago. Right. So something clearly wrong. And now
this is the weirdest elitist conversation I've ever had. Yeah, 1,300 damage.
Come on, you'd be the same way if you were in MMOs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much in MMOs, and I have problems when it's one thing when you're either under geared or you're still learning. It's upsetting when people walk in with the best gear.
Mm-hmm. It's a huge time investment for everyone involved. It's like you have a group of people playing together, working on something, and you have someone show up who doesn't know what they're doing. You have to drag them along. Like, God, you're making this a chore now.
Yeah. And it's something, you're doing something that should be very, very easy, very easily accomplished. You can.
It's like we just need a warm body.
Exactly. And then they're so bad that it ruins the entire experience for you. I'm fine with level 85. That's not the top level. I think that's probably close to the top level of what they're giving away or what their freemium model is. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. It's fine. The gear is a concern.
Yeah, I didn't see in that article.
There, especially in EverQuest, there are items that they've purposely left, at least at the last time I played, in older expansions that you would want to go get. Like a wizard, even content 5 or 6 tiers ago, would want to go back and do level 65 content, even though they face roll the entire thing, because they want, this wristband that produces.
It gets them into the after party.
That for
the VIP wristband.
There were items in the game
the armor comes off.
Created or that do something that greatly impacts your power, even though it was 5 or 6 expansions ago. Right. So a fresh level 95 wizard and a veteran 95 wizard who's been playing for 4 years, has been playing all the expansions. The veteran 95 wizard is going to have more tools in his toolbox, kind of thing, where it's it situationally will give him an advantage, where it's because I have the item from whatever, and because I can equip that in this fight, well, now I'm able to give myself mana at the cost of 5% HP. So if my healers don't suck, I can immediately get all my mana back, and that's great. And normal wizards won't have that ability.
Suck at normal wizards.
Wizards who haven't been around a lot, and those wizards can go back. Mm-hmm. They can go back. That content's still available.
Yeah, they
they can go earn that content, and it is easier now to get it because they're level 95. So it's they can face roll it, but as long as they're not giving.
You keep saying face roll.
It's a I don't know.
This inspires a really interesting mental image for me, where it's like someone doing some kind of breakdance spin on their face.
It's when you put your face on your keyboard and just kind of like.
This was new to me also. This is a new term I've never heard before.
It's when you're it's really easy. You just put your face and you go on your keyboard, you go to sleep, and you're face rolling.
QWERTY face.
Yeah, something like that.
So one of the other things that going back a step. One of the things that Blizzard's working on is that Hearthstone game.
Mm-hmm. The card game, right?
Yeah, which is actually a lot of fun.
Is it?
Yeah.
Have they sucked you in?
Yeah, I got into.
Are you going to the
beta,
game shop and getting?
I don't know that there's a physical aspect to it.
Lame.
At all?
What will you find in your closet 30 years from now? Just like I dug magic cards from a decade ago.
If they've already created the cards,
you can buy the cards digitally. You buy booster packs online.
But my point is if they've already created all the cards, right? Yeah. All they need is printing. Right. What's the extra
printing
step?
And shipping, and then paying a distributor a cut. Cut everyone else out. Just keep all the profit yourself, and you don't have to print a fucking thing. You just use electrons, and there's like billions of those.
There's like billions.
Trillions, right? I mean, there's electrons everywhere. Look here, look. Electrons, yeah, you said.
Got your electrons on me, dude.
So it's like, I mean, why do physical when you can just do digital and keep all the money yourself? It's like the concept behind Steam.
No, but my point is why not? So there are people out there who like the physical card. Who collect the physical card.
It's not.
What's the disadvantage with doing that?
Printing costs.
I think you make less money. And also,
it's like
your
overhead.
No, I'm not saying as a replacement. I'm saying additive.
Yeah, no, I mean still printing costs.
Yeah. Also, it's like you're gonna have
license it. Let some other guy deal with it. Who
cares?
You
license it. You still lose money on that. And also, it's
so you're talking about the physical, the part of the physical sales eating into your digital sales,
right?
Is that what you're talking
also,
about?
It's like how do you license that, or how do you protect that there's Hearthstone, by the way,
Oh, yeah.
so that
And I
like
have
if
no idea what's going on that screen right now.
so how do you protect it? Like if you want to tie in between the games, like if you wanted to let people buy physical cards and then represent it in the digital game, like how do you
Wasn't there was a
protect it
PS
and make that
game
come in?
with the PSI that
Eye of Judgment?
that's it.
Yeah.
And people were just like scanning the cards
Yeah.
and then like downloading them online, so no one bought the cards.
I will say the thing about physical, an actual physical card is, I think it still is more trusted than any kind of digital form. You feel like digital is still just.
Well, you feel like you own it.
Well,
you know,
I
whereas
mean-
the Steam is like, I have so many different restrictions that, you know, I technically have the game.
Yeah.
But if something bad happens and my account gets banned,
Yeah.
if you know, I want to retire that account, I can't transfer those games. Those games are locked.
Well, I don't know.
You know,
Something about
there's some element to it that does suck.
there's something about something super rare, say like one of the maybe I'm sure there's a top tier card though that if it's
Your
physical,
holographic Charizard.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Nerd.
thing
Shut up.
with the that's what Digimon, right? No, but
Get out.
but you feel like it's more valuable when it's an actual object than it's digital. Digital always feels like it could be more easily reproduced than a physical object.
Yeah, copy paste, bro.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all like controlled via a login in BattleNet.
It
You know,
is.
in this case, so it's like you can't.
I'm not saying that it's
necessarily dupe
happening.
it, yeah.
I'm just saying that's how it feels.
I hear
In
but
here,
the
not up
rare
here,
cards
okay?
have like little foil seals on them on the screen that like look different.
They're
like-
holographic on your screen.
Yeah, I said they have foil
They're
seals.
shiny.
Tweet.
No, it's a fun game. I think Gilby just got into the beta.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
might,
so
I
it's
might
still
have
in
to
beta.
destroy him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going to be
Did
showing
you
that.
say
at
you're going to
BlizzCon.
have to destroy him?
I will destroy him because he beat me
Oh,
at
okay,
Pokemon,
well.
so I'll have to destroy him at this because I've been playing for a while.
He's only like 130 hours into Pokemon right now.
Well, I've got a good Paladin deck in Hearthstone. I'll end his world. I don't know if you saw there was also other news the other day that there's rumors that the 2K Marin offices have been shuttered or they're about to be shuttered. They,
It's the ones that did the bureau, right?
they did the Bureau. They also
Yeah.
did BioShock 2.
Okay.
They so they definitely had
No,
layoffs.
not
That was
BioShock 2.
that was confirmed that they had layoffs, but it has not been confirmed whether that studio's been closed down permanently or not.
The Bureau was an interesting. Okay, sorry, I was just momentarily distracted by video. The Bureau was kind of an interesting game. I've tried to play it, excuse me, but it's kind of hard to.
I
get
have
into.
it. I'm a huge fan of the original XCOM games.
Yeah,
When
Yeah.
XCOM Enemy Unknown came out, I loved it. I've been really looking forward to the Bureau, but I felt like Enemy Unknown was such a good XCOM game. I'm afraid to play the Bureau now. I literally have it. It's sitting on top of my Xbox, but I can't bring myself to put it in.
and there's not a lot of relation really between the two. I mean, the translating it into a first-person kind of, or it's more of a third-person kind of realm is very different, and the changes to the story. Like it doesn't seem like it's not in line with the Enemy Unknown storyline. It's a totally separate kind of universe to it. And I need to go back, so I'm sorry, and play some more because it does kind of engaging. It's just extremely hard and a little clunky to make it kind of work. And I think that's sort of why it's not doing great.
Well, I mean, the game also suffered from a format change. If I recall, it was initially an FPS that then changed to that third-person perspective.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, because the controls weren't quite tight enough.
And they're still not.
Wait, they changed to a third person because the controls weren't tight enough?
Right. Like for precise Twitch
Oh,
aiming.
okay, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, I mean, you're also a large part of it is not just shooting and you know.
It's like hiding
casting.
behind things and knee-high walls and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
and directing the other troops.
Okay.
It's very similar to the that was early Call of Duty, right, where you had control over other.
UACs and other teammates and stuff.
Yeah, you got to, and if you don't direct those other teammates, they just immediately get slaughtered.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, and all of this, and even now talking about the Bureau makes me more excited for XCOM Enemy Within.
Yeah.
Which is coming out here really soon.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna replay XCOM.
XCOM was one of those games that was extremely fun until I got about halfway through the game and realized there's no winning that game.
Yeah, there is. You totally
There
win.
is.
There's no perfecting that.
That's
game.
what I mean.
You can
There
win.
is no I started off and it was like I'm going to get every country. I'm going to not lose a guy. And about halfway through, I got to this one level. There was it was impossible. I probably reloaded that save 50 times. And it was just like, I'm going to lose this guy. There's nothing I can do about it. And then there was 3 or 4 hours later, it was like, I'm going to lose this country. I'm going to lose this country or this country. And I am screwed as to getting both.
Yeah, it's like, it's definitely it's like diminishing returns. As you progress and as you play further, it's like, you realize you're not going to get every upgrade.
Yeah.
You're not going to build your
That's-
base the way you want. It's like, what do I really need to finish this game?
That was a really hard moment for me because most of the time especially with games like that, puzzle games and Command and Conquer, all those kind of RTS, I'm a perfectionist in that I want to have the best ending, I want to have the best everything, and like I have not. I'm convinced that a perfect ending is impossible.
Well,
especially once you turn up the difficulty.
I think there's
the charm to that game though is that it is. You can
Brutal.
lose people. Like you're going to lose characters. You're going to lose countries.
You will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there's an achievement for taking one of your starting initial characters and finishing the game with that character.
just with one of your characters.
Having one of them survive.
not only that, you have to have them in every mission.
Yes.
I started a second
God.
playthrough right before I really heard about the Enemy Within, so that's kind of sad that I could have just done all at once. But I started another playthrough on hard doing that. And just trying to clean up some of the Steam achievements. And I'm almost to the end, and I just got distracted by other games. So I have to go back and finish it. It is actually pretty hard.
Yeah.
But if you you can do it with a sniper, and it's not so bad.
Yeah, until you're repositioning your sniper around a corner for a better angle, and there's 3 enemies right there who just point blank you.
Hello.
I mean, I've lost so many fucking snipers doing that.
That's why you take your whole team and just base them around your sniper.
Yeah,
you just don't.
You
do
have them
anything
clear
else.
the way for the sniper.
Exactly.
And then every mission takes forever.
No.
Yeah.
You give her double tap, and you give her the line of sight thing.
It's sexist.
It is in this case, it is a girl for mine. But yeah,
Mine
the
was
line
too.
of sight thing. And then she just stays at the back and just shoots everybody from way back there.
It's a fun game.
I am looking forward to that expansion. One other game that is recently it's probably released now that has been in beta for probably about a year. Is Path of Exile.
that was on my team.
And did you ever play Path of Exile?
No, I never played it.
Dude, I got so into Path of Exile. I have several characters in the 90s. And today they're actually releasing the game. It's now a not beta game.
Nice.
And it's really cool.
And do you want to play it? Because it was in beta for so long.
Well, actually, so today's update
Finish it up.
supposedly comes with more maps, more characters, more everything. So it's supposedly really cool.
Cool.
And I will definitely be going back and playing it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
The model works.
Thanks to everyone for checking us out this week on The Patch. We'll be back on Monday with another episode of RT Podcast and on Wednesday with another patch.
Saluting.
Bye.
Bye.
Look, it's the